Hey guys, I'm Jack Punkington. I'm with Vex Venue. And do you have new music coming out? Maybe a single, maybe a whole album? Are you launching a new merch line that you really want to get out to your fans? Maybe you've got a big festival or a show coming up that you want to get people to. Or maybe you're on the other end of the spectrum. Maybe you're just starting out. Maybe you're looking to join a band or looking to start something. But you don't know what to do. You don't know who to talk to. You don't know how to get the word out. Well, that's where we come in. Go ahead, record a 30-second to a minute long video on of your whatever you need and what you're looking for of an ad and send it to us. We'd love to check it out. We'll play it before our podcast so that way we can help you reach the right people because we're all about helping the community here. So again, send us a 30-second to maybe about a minute at most, keep it a little under, ad of what you need. We'll get it out there.
She's 4'11", but her caffeine intake says 6'4". Kenzie, middays on 106.3 The Core. She could probably bench press a coffee machine.
Hey, what's up? It's your boys from Lost Grip, and you're listening to the Vex Live Music Podcast.
Hey guys, Ashton Hollick here, vocalist for Abigail's Asylum, and I am here to let you know that we have a brand new single about to release on May 3rd. So wherever you listen to music, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, make sure you go and check it out for the brand new single from Abigail's Asylum, Sanctus Mendax. We'll see you May 3rd, and keep tuning in to the Vex Venue Podcast. We love it here.
The only guys who can have a beer for breakfast at work and not get fired. The Dave and Mahoney Show, weekdays and Saturdays, 5 to 10 on 106.3 The Core. Thanks to Paintball on Bay Road. More than a body shop. Watch the road.
Hey guys, I'm Jack Punkington, the host of Vex Venue's Rig Review Podcast. Do you got some gear that you really want to show off? Maybe you have a story behind this guitar that's been passed down by generation in your family. Maybe you found this really cool snare drum on the side of the road and it's got a sick sound and story behind it. Maybe you bought a cursed clarinet from a jazz club down in Nolens and you don't know what to do, but you want to show it off. Well, that's what I'm here for. Go ahead, submit your gear. I will rate and review it. I'd love to hear the stories behind your equipment. I would love to check it out. And not only that, I'm going to have people on my podcast where I will interview them about their stories with their equipment, what they bring on the road, something that really means to them, stuff that they're looking to get, stuff that they're looking to prove with their equipment, and just honestly share and show off what they've got. Maybe you need some tips. Maybe you don't know where to start when you're looking to get into having some nicer end equipment. Does a speaker really matter out of a cab? Do I really need to get a set of Seymour Duncan pickups? Heck, does the reed matter in my saxophone at all? Does it matter what brand? Well, guess what? Tune into the podcast. I will happily answer these questions for you, along with many more. It's Monday nights, 8 p.m. Submit your gear, tune in, listen to the awesome interviews, check out some tips, because you might learn something, or you might have some knowledge to pass on to me so I can pass it on to others. Again, Monday night, 8 p.m. Tune in. Peace, everybody.
We are Fault to the People, and you're tuning in to the Vex Podcast.
This man's only addiction is to live concerts. Ugh, too bad it wasn't something cheaper. Like cocaine.
What?
Afternoons with Meatball on 106.3 The Core. At least concert merch doesn't require bail money.
Hey guys, this is Jack Punkington, guitar player of A Proper Axe. Please tune in to the Vex Venue podcast to hear awesome interviews and music for local bands. Weekend, we all survived. So, hope everyone had a killer weekend. Tonight, we are going to be joined by a pretty awesome guest. Before we get to that, I have some tips to talk about. Tips that I really thought about, and it's mainly because I'm in the market for a nice 7-string. I want to experiment. Might be working on something special. We'll see. But my good buddy Chris, who's pretty much running everything for this podcast, actually brought up a pretty good point when we were talking about different 7-strings. And he found this one for sale on Guitar Center, and it was scratch and dented. And it made me really think about what we should all look into, what we should think about when we're looking for our next piece of gear. Hello. Hi, everybody. Hi, Chris. He can't hear you, but I guarantee you he's also saying hi. So, there's a couple of things that I've learned in just the past when it comes to finding good places to find pieces of equipment, whether it's guitar, bass, drums, anything. There's a couple like secrets. I don't know if they're really secrets, but it seems to be a consistent thing for me that I've noticed this. When you're shopping, if you are on like Reverb or Guitar Center, Sam Ash doesn't exist anymore. So I was going to say Sam Ash, but they don't exist anymore. eBay for sure. Hey, Steven, what is up? This awesome guitar player from Tribe 989. He's just about to go on tour, and I don't think I can make any of the shows, which sucks. We'll see. I might try to make it out to one. He has a really sick Schecter. Anyway, yeah. So I've noticed that a lot of the like better deals are all the way at the very back, and it's because I think that those are the deals like for Guitar Center especially, that like the people who are like trying to like buy them that work at the store, they'll put it in the back of the website so that way like, oh, no one will go like 12 taps deep. I go 12 taps deep, and I go 12 taps deep because I have bought an EVH 50-watt 5150 for $400, the same price as the little LBX, because they marked it wrong. Harpos, yeah, that'll be cool. I don't think I can make that. I was actually just talking about Harpos. I don't know. We'll see. No promises. I might try. Depends on finances. Anyway, no, if you go to the back, you'll find all sorts of like interesting pieces of gear. And I mean, I once found this SG that was painted blue, like not well, and had P90s in it, and it was $200. And I almost picked it up. I regret not getting it. It was an Epiphone, but it was like an Epiphone custom. It was actually pretty sick. Not gonna lie. But yeah, so I always start at the back page first. That's how you're gonna find like good deals that you might not see. And then don't be afraid of scratch and dented. Don't be afraid of fair, like in terms of how good of a quality of an instrument there is, or like condition. Not quality, but how good of a condition. Don't be afraid of fair. Poor, if you don't know what you're doing when it comes to repairing equipment or working on equipment, stay away from poor. Don't be afraid of fair or repaired pieces of gear, because it will literally save you hundreds of dollars. I have picked up so many pieces of awesome equipment, and it's just because I know how to work and do some basic maintenance. It's something we talked about last week. Learn how to do basic maintenance, but also learn how to do small fixes and repairs. I'm not saying go out and buy a Gibson SG that's got a headstock broke off and you're going to fix it right up. But what I am saying is if you've got a chance to pick up, a nice like guitar or bass, or maybe even like a drum, although my knowledge on drums is a lot less, that maybe has some splintering or like not splintering, but separations or cracking, but you can do like the small repairs. Do it, especially if it's going to save you tons of money. Yes, exactly. Scratch and dented could just be a little love and experience on the guitar. Exactly. It doesn't necessarily mean that, it has a headstock that's got a crack in it, or the body is separating, or there's a separation in the neck pocket or something like that, or like one of the pickups doesn't work. Although I can see that being a lot more common. It literally could just be there's a dent in this thing, but we still need to sell it. And that, like, the guitar that Chris actually found for me was unfortunately it sold, so I wasn't able to pick it up, but it was a Jackson 7-string, and it was $172, basically brand new with a chip off the headstock. They're normally almost $300. They're like $275, I think, new. So it would have saved. Yes. I was so bummed it sold. I was not able to get it. I tried reaching out to see if I could pick it up. It just did not happen. So I will be vigilant. I still have my eyes on that Ibanez one, so we'll see. But yes, seriously, don't be afraid of scratch and dented, and learn the basics of maintenance. Learn how to do small repairs for guitar, like electric guitar. Learn how to solder. You should learn how to solder anyway, especially if you want to build pedal boards. But it's just nice. And that leads into my next thing. Get yourself a nice small tackle box. Like you can go to a garage sale and you can pick up like a nice fishing tackle box. It doesn't have to be like a toolbox or anything, but just like a affordable tackle box, and load it up with little like odds and ends. Like, I've got these extra screws. Always save extra parts. Never ever get rid of extra parts unless like they are unusable. You have any idea how many times I wanted strap locks, I couldn't afford them, but I had a spare set. Or you should have a tackle box segment. Maybe my tackle box is actually like I need to organize it, so maybe I'll wait till after I organize it. But yeah, get a tackle box, fill it up with spare parts. Spare, if you play guitar with tube amps, spare tubes. You always want to have spare tubes. Trust me. Sometimes you get lucky and just a preamp tube goes out and your amp is self-biasing and you don't have to worry about it. Sometimes you're screwed. But get yourself spare parts, get yourself spare pickups, anything. Like if you buy a cheapo like guitar, like a Squire Strat or something, and you just need to strip it for parts, always do that. I always will look for Strats or like Tellys or something that are like $50 to $100, maybe 120, depending on like the model and stuff. But if it's like, it's got to replace pickup, well, that pickup's worth $50, and that neck could definitely be useful and down the road, and that's worth $50 by itself. There's $100 in parts, and it's worth it. Steven says he just got a Ibanez from Nate and Godstine. I really like it. That's sick. I wonder if that's the Ibanez I saw him used at the show. Stephanie, spare change. Yes, spare change, spare parts. I have a box case thingy and our pack and put equipment too. Yes. Luke at pack out. Luke from A Proper Axe literally has like this plastic Tupperware kind of tub. He throws all of his cables, his strap, all like spare stuff in that, and then he has like stuff he'll put in his pedal board. But like having that all in there is so convenient. So have a tackle box. Have spare parts. Never get rid of spare parts down the road. Steve, is that Steve, we need to know, does the RG270, is it Floyd Rose equipped? Does it have a Floyd? Oh, the dreaded Floyd Rose. I have some hot takes on the Floyd Rose. And then don't be afraid to get parts in weird places. And what I mean by that is hardware stores are really useful. And I know that makes sense. Like, obviously, a hardware store is useful, but the amount of times I've had to get spare screws for pick guards, a spare nut that'll just like fix something. Like, I've gone to hardware stores and I've saved myself like having to order it from like Sweetwater or Amazon, and it's super, super useful. Steven says, yes, it is. It is Floyd Rose equipped. 90% of my guitars are I don't think I've seen any guitar you've played without a Floyd Rose. You are one of the special people that like can make it work. I can't, at least not yet. We'll see, maybe someday. They also make good cat toys if they're full, if they fall out and disappear. That's true. That is true. Old guitar strings make great cat toys too. Just make sure that you don't let your cat swallow them. Tie them in like a knot and make it so they're kind of like almost like a ball. Cats love them. So, my last kind of like bigger tip, and this seems important, but also like easy. You won't. Always have backups, and I mean of everything. Every show. Ironically, this last show that we played Friday was the first time I forgot this, but I usually, let's see if I can get it to come in frame. Oh no, it might not work because it's black. I have an orange dual or orange micro dark terror that literally stays in my pedal board, just for backups in case any of my amps go bad. I always have a spare cable, spare speaker cable, 2 spare instrument cables, a spare power cable. Bring a spare power strip, because for the love of God, you don't want to have a situation where your Mesa rectifier blows up because the venue that you're playing at doesn't have it set up properly for electricity. I've seen that happen. It's heartbreaking. It was a venue down in Detroit. Tension on lower tunings are so hard to intonate. Do you intonate your own guitars? Is that towards me or Steven? Either way, anyone who does play guitar, learn how to intonate your own guitars. Like, seriously. Again, if you learn how to set up your own guitars, you're going to take care of, or you're going to be able to save yourself money in the long run, because you don't have to go to Guitar Center or pay someone to set up your guitars. It's just nice to learn these things. Floyd Roses are a lot harder. I still don't know how to do it properly. I have a friend of mine that's working on the one guitar I have that has a Floyd Rose. He's getting it set up for me so I can actually, use it properly and experiment. Although what I'm working on in the background that I haven't really like focused too much on yet is not going to be very Floyd Rose heavy. You tuned a B. I didn't know that, and never had an issue with getting into it. That's awesome. You guys don't sound like you tuned to B. That's really interesting. Like, whenever I hear you guys play, it's like I imagine drop C, which is what I play. So, but man, Steven, we'll have to have you on, because I have so many questions, but that's super awesome. I agree. Steven, I have to have you on one of these nights, but that night is not tonight. So those are my tips for this week. Always have backups. Look in weird places for spare parts. Always have spare parts. Get a nice little tackle box. Go to a garage sale, you'll find them. And don't be afraid of scratch and dented gear. So before we get tonight's guest on, who is going to be Cody from Godstine, he is the bass player. You play in drop B, A, G, and E. Jeez, dude. Anyway, we've got a nice little video of him doing like a little rig rundown for us. So we're going to play that for you, and then we'll have Cody hop on, and we'll get the interview started. So enjoy.
Hi, this is Cody from Godstine, and we're here for Rig Review Monday. Here we got my acoustic B600H bass amp. All my EQ knobs. Got my acoustic B410 speaker cab. And then I got my acoustic B115 speaker cab. Down here I got a D'Addario pedal board with the Boss OBD3 bass overdrive pedal and a chromatic tuner TU3. Over here I got my cable bag. I'm big on redundancy, carrying 1, 2, 3 of everything.
Oh no, it cut out early. See if we can fix that. Hold on.
Hi, this is Cody from Godstine, and we're here for Rig Review Monday. Up here we got my acoustic B600H bass amp. All my EQ knobs. Got my acoustic B410 speaker cab. And then I got my acoustic B115 speaker cab. Down here I got a D'Addario pedal board with the Boss OBD3 bass overdrive pedal and a chromatic tuner TU3. Over here I got my cable bag. I'm big on redundancy, carrying 1, 2, 3 of everything, so always got extra power solutions, whether it be, a spare amp head cable, extension cords, splitters, power pedal for your power for your pedals, spare instrument cables, spare speaker cables. So I'm always set up if something of mine fails, or maybe another band says, "Hey, I forgot my speaker cable. Anybody got one?" I always got an extra. Got my tools. If I need to do a string change or any setup changes. Flashlight's really handy on stage. It's really dark in the back, so that's all my backpack setup. Then coming over here, I got my Schecter Omen Extreme 5-string. Do a little sound demo. This one is Medicate the Master.
And that was Cody's little video he had actually sent us. And here's Cody. How you doing tonight, Cody?
I think. There we go. Hi, everybody. Good. How are you?
Doing good. We were literally during that video, me and Chris were just talking about how good your tone actually showed up on that little clip.
Yeah,
And
thanks. It was just through a phone too, so.
Yeah. I'm like, man, that actually came out pretty clear. I like how thick his tone is.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem. So give me a little bit of a backstory, kind of like what really made you want to start playing guitar?
All right, so I made
Thanks,
some
I guess I
note
should
cards.
say.
I'm gonna read off of those. So I started playing acoustic guitar around 2007, 2008. I was in 8th grade. So my grandma had her 2 guitars. She had her first one that she bought from a Sears catalog, I believe, when she was young. And then she had her nice guitar that she played in church. So that one, her first one was just hanging on the wall, and I was like, "Hey, Grandma, can you teach me how to play?" And that's the guitar I learned on. Was her first guitar.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So, I just kind of started playing acoustic guitar, and then about 4 years later, I joined my other band, the Jam Dandies. So that's when I picked up the mandolin, banjo, and then I incorporated my guitar as well into the band. So I played in that from 2012 to this year, 2026. So it's like 14 years. Kind of in the midst of that, my high school buddies and my brothers tried to get some music going. It never quite worked out. We we had so many fun memories, like playing in the garage and just making music. I have tons of great memories with my brothers and my old high school buddies. I love that. I just wish we could have went somewhere with that. But so now the band I mentioned earlier, the Jam Dandies, have retired. And I can't say enough good things about the times I've played with them, the times I shared with them. I'm gonna miss it dearly. It's crazy to play with people for that long and then for something to end. So yeah. So that's kind of how I started playing music, was a mix of like my folk stuff and then also like metal with my friends. Yeah.
That's really cool. I think it's so important. Like, I feel like everybody should, like, even if you don't like go on to pursue music seriously, like everyone should have like a jam band that they do in high school. Because
Yeah.
it's like you said, you have so many like fond memories and stuff. Like, I have a lot of like memories from like my first high school band, and like it really impacted kind of how I looked at what I wanted to do in the future. And I think for a lot of musicians, those informative, and even if like you don't end up doing really shows or anything, just those memories and stuff, like that's kind of what will really show you, like, do I want to do this and pursue this, or is this just gonna
Exactly.
be
Yeah.
something I do for fun?
Yeah.
So the previous band you were in, was that kind of just like a folk indie band, or what was like the style?
We played like Irish traditional, like fiddle tunes. We did like a little bit of like bluegrass, and then just like I would just say like kind of traditional music, like a little bit of country too.
That's cool.
We play at the Art and Wine Walk here in West Branch. That's an event that goes on like twice a year, and that was fun. We just set up and just played for 3 or 4 hours, and people come through and listen, and yeah.
That's cool. I like art walks and stuff like that. My town has like a big shopping day where all the businesses will have that. They also have an art walk that goes on the same time. They'll have people, like, if you want to go out and busk, you can do that.
Oh yeah, cool.
And I love stuff like that, even though that's not really something I would do. I always love seeing the creativity that people come up with.
Right. Yeah.
So what made you kind of go from, that, like, I know you were talking about like your friends and stuff and your brothers. What made you, like, how did you get into Godstine and like that whole situation? And what made you like, I'm going to try this, try out for this band, or like get into this band and see what happens?
So yeah, I actually knew Monroe from high school. He was one of the guys I was kind of talking about, where we always talked about, let's get a band together, let's do this. And yeah, I've known him forever. Kind of lost touch after high school, like you do with everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he tagged me on a Facebook post actually when he started doing like vocals by himself, and that's how I started like listening to his stuff, like at work, when he had his music on Spotify. And yeah, so I saw a post that they were looking for a bass player and a rhythm guitarist. So I was like, I don't know, I should just dig out my old gear and give it a shot, because I knew my other band was retiring. So I was like, well, I have to play music somehow, some way. It's just, it has to happen. So yeah, I messaged Monroe and I was like, hey dude, I haven't played bass guitar in like, I don't know, 10 years or so. I was like, I was in this other band, so like I do have like experience, but like not on bass guitar. So they just invited me to practice, and yeah.
That's cool though, because like I know when I saw you like at Vex Venue, that was like your second show, right?
That was my second show, yes.
And I stand by what I said. Like I wasn't able to tell. You were so solid with them. How long have you guys been playing together before that?
So, well, okay, so I joined like at the beginning of May, I believe. Like right at the end of April, right at the beginning of May. We had one show not too long before the Vex Venue show. I want to say like a couple weeks before that. Um, and then I'm not sure how long the guys have been playing together. I know Monroe picked up Nate first, and then he got Abe, the drummer. But it's only been like a year or two.
That's actually like when you're like, yeah, I joined them at like the beginning of May and stuff. Like mind blowing how solid of a bass player you are.
Thank you,
Because
appreciate it.
you're welcome, dude. Like you deserve it. The world needs more bass players and less guitar players. And more drummers. Like
Yeah,
whenever I see bands like it's always we're looking for bass player, we're looking for drummers. Monroe says like 9 months. So
okay, thank you.
wow. And
Yeah.
honestly, as a whole, too, like Godstine has such a solid sound and setup. And I assume that's from just Monroe's planning. He seems like a very oriented, like
Oh yeah,
planned out kind of person.
for sure. Yep.
I mean, super, super nice dude. I was very like glad I got to meet him and stuff at that show. And so I bet a big part of that is just being able to have that all like planned out and being able to essentially have a very not like strict practice, but a very solid foundation for all of your practices.
Yeah, I mean, as much as we love it and it's fun, when it's practice time, it's practice time. We get we get stuff done. We're either jamming new ones or working on the set list or just hanging out and having fun. But it's always fun. It's always constructive. It's always a good time.
Yeah. You never want to have, and trust me, we've all had those practices where like it just is not working out and it sucks, but you always want practice to practice and my week's going to get better.
Yeah, you cut out for a
So
little bit there,
I'm just
sorry.
kind of like, oh, sorry about that. What was the
It's all
last thing
good.
you heard me say?
I don't know, just whatever you said. Just a few seconds you cut off.
That's okay. Basically just going over like practices are always kind of like that's the space where you want to be able to let go of everything and like
Yeah. That's a good time to get like. Seems like we all get pretty creative too. It's just a good environment for it, really.
right. So do you find your rehearsal environment shapes creativity?
Yes. Yep, for sure. We the space we play at is a fun place. And I think that's important. Even with my other band too, we played in like a nice basement, so it's I think it's important to have like your practice space is almost like your little home kind of.
Yeah.
You should feel comfortable and that leads to the creativity and the good practices, productive practices.
Yeah. I agree with you completely. Like it almost kind of the mindset of like a dirty space is a like chaotic space. You want to have it kind of organized. You want to have it look nice and stuff. For a proper act, Monet, like we have our space, we call it Wharton Hall. And Monet, she's always working on it and upgrade it. Like she just this like the big thing she did this year was build her own drum rise.
Oh, sweet.
Because we had a bad habit of her bass drum always moving, so we'd have to like sit on it during practice. But yeah, no, like you want your practice space to feel like a second home. Like, I mean, there have been many times where I love just hanging out after practice in the summer. If I don't have to like work the next day and be like, I'm just gonna chill.
Yeah. Yep.
So tell me a little bit about your gear. I know like you did your little rundown in the video, which I actually really appreciate. It was kind of not only was it cool to like see and like actually hear you play it, but it's kind of cool to see like someone rocking the old acoustic stuff. I don't see that often anymore.
Yes. Okay. So I actually started off with a B200H, the 200-watt bass head. So funny story. I joined the band. I picked up this cab, the 4x10 cab, just because I wanted. I mean, it's gonna look cool with the dual setup. Sounds better. And I got it for really cheap. So, anyways, I plugged the 200H in, and I was playing for like 10 or 15 minutes. I was working on a Pantera song, I think, and the amp just went up in smoke.
Oh no!
Yeah, I rushed over, unplugged it, took it outside. Yeah, let it cool down. I took it apart, looked it over, figured out it was a relay, like just a little small square relay. It like, I don't know, it melted. So I unsoldered it, resoldered a new one on there, plugged everything back in, and she's working like new. So
hell yeah! I mean, like
you mentioned earlier about learning how to solder and learning how to just do like minor fixes and stuff on your gear. I didn't know how to solder. I hit up YouTube and I bought the tools, and I just went for it. I mean, what did I have to lose? It was already fried. So yeah. So in the meantime, when that head was down, I picked up the 600-watt head. I got that used from Guitar Center for like $250. So now I have the 600-watt and the 200-watt as the backup. And then, like I said, I got my 4x10 cab used, and then I got my 1x15. That is one of that, and the 200H were my original setup that I bought like 10 or 15 years ago when I first started playing.
That's cool. I love your tower. Like, I think it's a really cool stack. Like you were saying, you went out and you just like, let's try it. Let's see if I can fix it. And you did. And that saved you money in the long run. I mean, you ended up buying a 600, but it's always good to have that investment. Now you have a backup.
Yep. And just like in my video too, where I pointed out, like I always carry like extra cables, like you mentioned earlier too. Yeah, it's just, you never know what's going to happen. What's going to, if your power strip blows up, or like somebody trips over your extension cord and the end breaks off, whatever. But it's really cheap insurance to just carry that and to be able to play. Because like I don't want to drive that far to not be able to play. Like
sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I agree with you 100%. I had a situation happen once where I was in Grand Rapids playing a show at Mulligan's, and we had actually gotten a hotel. We were staying there for a couple nights, and I forgot all of my cables back at the hotel.
No.
And like I was like, and it's a snowstorm outside.
Oh shoot.
And so like we're up next, and I'm like panicking. My fiance's like, give me the keys. I'll drive back to the hotel real fast. So she's like, that way you can install and set up. I'm like, okay. And so she runs back, and I was just like, has anyone got a spare like set of cables? Like, help. Like, I forgot my wireless. I've got my pedal board and the power cable from my pedal board. I don't have an instrument or speaker cable. And so I was like, yeah, I got you. And from that moment, I was like, I'm never leaving without backups of everything ever again.
Exactly. Yep. It's very cheap insurance.
Yeah. And I've, like I said, I have seen it happen so much where just stuff ends up breaking too. I talked about it earlier. I won't well, I actually think the venue's closed. Well, I won't say the name in case they're not. There's a venue in Detroit, like downtown Detroit, that I played at, and the band that was on before us was Come Out Fighting. If you have not checked out Come Out Fighting, I highly recommend it. They're like a post-hardcore band.
All right.
And the lead guitarist had a Mesa dual rectifier half stack, and the wiring in that building was not safe.
Ooh.
Into the second song, that head blew up. And I a part of my soul died. I was like, that's gonna be such an expensive repair bill, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, I didn't want to say anything, but I was like, a power strip would have just saved you thousands of dollars.
Yep. That's awful.
Yeah. So tell me kind of like why you went with your Schecter. You know, a lot of bass players, and like this isn't stereotyping bass players, but a lot of bass players go with like a Squire or Fender kind of setup. So it's I always find it interesting when someone has something like a Schecter bass or an LTD bass. So tell me why you went with Schecter.
Just my opinion. I don't know. There's people that can definitely rock a Squire. Nothing wrong with that. Just not metal enough for me, I guess.
I don't. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man.
Yeah, that's why I went with the Schecter. Yeah, back in the day, we were playing Schecter guitars, so we had a Damien 6.
Okay.
And then I have a Hellraiser 6 also. And I also have Damien Elite 8-string
Nice.
too. So, yeah, I got like 4 Schecters. I don't know. I like the way they look. They sound good. They're beefy. They're well constructed. They decent price.
Yeah, Schecter does not get enough credit because it's the Monster Energy of guitars. I hear all the time. Like, you look at Schecter, that you look at like someone who's like out of Five Finger Death Punch. You're like, yeah, that's just a Schecter like guitar shop owner. But no, like, all jokes aside, solid quality guitars, man. Like, I have a Tempest that the previous owner literally smashed it apart on stage, glued it back together. I got it 10 years ago almost now, and I've never had an issue with it.
Sweet. Is that the only one you have?
Currently it's the only Schecter I have. I want to pick up a PT really bad, which is like their Telecaster like deluxe style. I think they're really unique. And they're a lot more inexpensive than if I wanted another Fender Telecaster Deluxe. And I'm with the rest of the guitar community on Screw Fender right now because of their shady business dealings.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
So, now tell me more about, like, right now you have a pretty, and there's nothing wrong with that, basic setup with just your pedal board. Are you looking to expand that, or do you just like, no, I'm simple, I like it like this?
So I don't know. To be honest, I'm still learning. I knew I wanted like a tuner pedal. I wanted this like since I first started back in the day. It's so nice.
They're so convenient, man.
I'm glad I made the investment on that. And then the guys were like, hey, you should pick up a overdrive or distortion for your bass, make it sound a little bit beefier. So I went with the Boss just to like stick with the same brand.
Right.
I haven't really like experimented like too much with this, just because like I kind of feel like I found a tone right away that I liked, and I'm kind of stuck with it.
There's nothing wrong with that, man. Like, once you find like your sound, I say stick with it. You can like, you can always pick up another distortion or another, overdrive or whatever pedal that you want to like. All right, this will be what I experiment with, but I'll leave the settings on my other pedal the way I like them.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So I guess I don't really know, like in the future, what I'm planning on getting. Maybe a compressor.
That would be sick.
I've just been doing like a little bit of reading, and like I know it's important, so I just need to do a little bit more learning and figure out, what else I need to add. Do you have any other suggestions or
Chorus. Some
chorus?
sort of
Okay.
like, it doesn't have to be chorus per se, but some sort of modular effect. I always think that I prefer chorus. It's just what I use a lot. But chorus, phaser, tremolo would be sick. I would love to hear like you come up with a really sick tremolo bass line. Oh, that would be sick because you have such a thick tone that I could see that become like that come up like pretty cool. So I'd check out just, like some tremolo stuff.
Okay.
If you eventually, like you said, you've got your tone set, which that's totally cool. If you want to experiment with different styles of distortion, pick up a fuzz.
I actually, we were at Guitar Center. I found one of the big muff fuzz pedals. It was like a really good deal. It was only like $60 or something. And I was like, I
That's
should
not
have grabbed
terrible.
that.
Yeah.
But
I don't know where it is right now. Oh, it's right next to me. I have one right next to me. It's a big muff
okay.
bass fuzz. Yeah.
Dope.
No, they're so sick. They're fun to experiment with. Like, I don't really use it a lot, like in a live setting, but for recording, it's so much fun.
Yeah, that's one I really want to try out. Also, I think another one I wanted was like a Sans amp, like the black one.
Yeah.
One of those would be cool too.
Sansamp makes some pretty unique stuff. I've not had the luck to try anything out yet, but I'd love to experiment with it. Yeah, no, definitely try that out. Try out something weird too. Like I even if you don't use it in a live setting, even if it's just something like I want, like we were talking before the show where I was like, yeah, I'll pick up my banjo when I'm like stuck. I really want to pick up a gonkulator pedal.
Okay, I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Look into it is literally a ring modulator that makes just the most random weird noises, because I feel like I could experiment with that and come up with like maybe cool backing like sounds or cool intros or something. And bass wise, you could always pick up some sort of modulator or even some doubler effect and really experiment with that. An octave is always cool. Like you could have it set where it's an octave up from your bass, so it almost sounds like you have a secondary guitar player almost.
Okay, yeah, that would be cool.
So kind of give me like a rundown of like artists that inspire you. Like what are like the artists like, man, I love this guy's sound. This is the tone I'm chasing, or like this is the gear I'd love to have someday, like for your next guitar or your next bass or something.
Yeah, so I wrote down some of my influences. Really like In Flames, Soilwork, Avatar, Cattle Decapitation.
Nice.
Then kind of a little bit of a genre switch. Kubicon, Texas. They're probably like one of my biggest influences right now, just in terms of like tone and style. Wage War, Whitechapel, Gojira, and a smaller band called Throne.
I have been hearing that name everywhere lately.
Mm-hmm. They're kind of, I'd say they're kind of similar to like Kubicon a little bit. But yeah, so I also have some like folk influences too. Amon Amarth, Gaelic Storm. They're kind of just like a regular folk band. And then Alvetti, they're like a folk metal band. So I've been listening to those guys for quite a while.
I was lucky enough to see Amon Amarth live a couple of years ago, And I'll tell you what, if you've not done that, that's an experience that you need to do.
I want to desperately. That would be awesome.
Trust me, when you see the whole crowd start rowing at the same time, it's so much fun, dude.
That's dope.
Yeah, I got to see them open for Ghost at Pine Knob, and like it was raining. It started raining at the beginning of the Row song, and I was like, "Whoa, dude!"
Perfect timing.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Ghost,
like, yeah, Ghost is sick, man. I like that you've got like, I mean, obviously you were in a folk band beforehand. I like that you've got some influences with that though too. Like, how's that go in terms of like when you're writing for Godstine, and like what do you really draw upon? Like, oh, let's add this unique kind of little play through here that's more of a different genre, but it might fit the song.
So we haven't quite got there yet. Just because I've only had a handful of practices since I joined, but I don't know. Like I'd love to, maybe get some of that folk sound or whatever. I don't know if the guys would want it, but I don't know. It's just as I'm like learning bass too, I would like to kind of incorporate some of my folk stuff back into that too. So yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Monroe, I saw you in the chat earlier. Monroe, are you down for some folk influences with the Godstein sound? I think that'd be kind of cool. Maybe have a song start out where you're playing mandolin, and then you switch to the bass. That would be sick. So I'm just kind of like going through like your answers of like what you submitted.
Okay. Yeah.
And I love what you put for the worst piece of gear you've ever owned. Immediately, Line 6 Spider 3 amp.
Yeah, that thing was a piece of trash. I don't know. I don't think I've ever met anybody that liked one.
I know a couple people. My brother swears up and down by him, man. I give him so much crap for it all the time. He has a Line 6 Spider 3 head, a 4 head, and a 3 combo. And I'm like, dude, like he's owned 6505s. I think he's owned a Mesa at one point. Yes, Monroe hopping in saying, hell yeah, man. Yeah. Monroe is down to add some folk. Oh, let's do it. I want to hear it. Like I just from seeing you guys live, which I'm very new to like your guys' sound and like that whole style of metal for me.
Me too, honestly.
Yeah. And so when I saw you, like when I watched you guys play, and the first thing I hear, like one of the backing traps was "Get out of my face," I immediately was like, I love this band. They're gonna be awesome, and I would love to hear something like that. And then you're just like pull out a banjo real fast to do a little diddly. That'd be so sick.
That would be amazing. We're huge on the samples. They're just fun. I don't know. But...
No, I agree. I love it when bands, because it's creative. Like you don't make it like your whole thing. It's just like a little fun. And like Monroe does a good job. I'm sorry, I'm glazing the band a little bit, but you guys deserve it. He does a good job of kind of like spacing out when he's talking with the samples in the background, so it kind of carries over to the next song. I think it's very well organized.
Yeah, we seem to have that down pretty good as far as like our show routine. I think it flows well.
So if you were to go to, let's just say, Guitar Center, and someone goes up to you and says, here's $5,000, what gear are you picking out?
Woo. Okay.
And you have to spend all $5,000. You can't just be like, oh, I'll just buy like this and this and have the rest for later. No, you gotta spend all $5,000 or like 90% of it.
Well, probably an Ampeg like 8x10 cab, just because they're like classic, legendary.
They're so sick, dude.
The only bad thing about that would be like the setup. I like how my two cabs come apart. It's a little bit easier to transport.
Yeah.
But yeah, so an Ampeg 8x10 cab. Probably pair that with an Ampeg head just to keep it looking cool. And I'd probably be picking up an Ibanez BTB 5-string bass.
Ibanez basses are so sick.
Yep. I don't even know if that would come close to 5,000. To be honest, I'd probably like just throw in another 6-7 string. And maybe
your backup. Have your backup, man.
Yeah.
Then the rest can all be like cables and stuff, and then like a nice built carrying case so you can easily move that ginormous 8x10.
For sure.
So with your sound and stuff that you've got right now, we were talking a little bit about like modular effects and stuff that like your compressors you're looking into. What's a piece of gear that like, and it doesn't even have to be bass, like maybe it's something from your folk days or just like your garage days. What's a piece of gear that like maybe you've picked up and you were like, man, this is cool and I was not expecting that to be cool? It doesn't have to be something you have. It could just be something you've like picked up in the past.
I don't know. I kind of forgot what I answered for that, but I'm probably gonna say, like my Hercules stands. They're super solid. I don't know if you've ever like kind of went through like cheaper guitar stands and like mic stands and haven't really trusted them.
Yeah.
Or like they'll be tippy or like won't tighten up good or whatever. I seem to have like really good luck with the Hercules branded stuff.
How much do those run? I need to pick one up for my Flying V because right now my Flying V is either in its case at all times or just sitting on my rack sideways. I need to pick up a Hercules stand. How much do those run?
Yeah, so I got the 3 stand right here. Got like the auto yoke thing, so it just like grabs them and they sit back down. I think it's like around $100 or so.
It's not terrible.
They make like a single, a double, a triple. Then they have like the freestanding, like just the ones that are on the floor.
Right. Yeah, that's something that people don't really like think about is your stands. Because like, especially in a live environment, you want to make sure your equipment's taken care of because, and I'm not the type of guy that's like, well, you have to get the most expensive stand out there. I won't let some cheap $20 stand be in my presence. But there's nothing wrong with investing in a good stand.
Well, your stand's holding up a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's just some things you don't want to cheap out on, really. Want to have good solid stands for your guitars and your mics and whatever else.
No, I totally agree. I mean, like it's like having solid cables. You don't want to have cheap piece of crap cables. You want to have, they don't have to be expensive gold tip cables.
Yeah, there's no reason for that really, but
yeah. But you want to have something that's going to do the job, that's going to stand up to gigging and get you through it. I mean, it's kind of important and it's overlooked a lot.
Yep. I run D'Addario cables. I just always have. I used like their Planet Wave series back in the day, and then I guess they recently switched it over to just D'Addario.
Yeah.
But they've been a really solid like accessory company for me that I've found.
I agree with you totally. I've ran the Planet Wave stuff, and I mean D'Addario's the string company I use, and then that's what my pedal, like not my pedal board, but all my cables, all my patch cables are all D'Addario.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to deal with, I'm in the middle of my set and all of a sudden I hear because something came disconnected.
Exactly. Yep.
So what is your guys' next show that you've got coming up? I know that you've got a couple because I've seen a couple posts. What's your next like big show?
Yeah, so August 6th we're playing in Detroit. Let me pull it up real quick just so I can shout everybody out. So we're playing with Fight From Within, Young Mosh, Yayo, Hyporium, Ghosts of Gehenna, and Drowning in Midair. That's at the Sanctuary, Detroit, August 6th.
Have you ever been to the Sanctuary?
Yes, I believe that was my first show.
Okay.
Yep.
Dude. That is a great first show. That was my first show too. So that's
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah, that was a fun one. So yeah, and then in August we're playing in Standish at Wayland's Bar. And then we got a couple shows in September too. They're all posted up on our Facebook page too, quite well in advance. So
yeah, everyone go follow Godstine. Like seriously, if you want to see a great like slam hardcore, like what would you guys say your sound is? Is it slam? Is it hardcore? Is it post hardcore?
We call it hard death. It's hardcore. It's
I love
death
that.
metal. It's slam. It's I don't know. We write whatever sounds heavy, you know.
Yeah.
So.
It's true heavy metal.
Yeah.
If you want to go see a true heavy metal band, go see Godstine live. They are so worth it. Especially as someone who's new to like that heavier sound. I was so impressed like with your guys' stage quality. Your presence on stage too, dude. Like and it comes from your experience. I'm guessing from like being in a folk band and like doing this for years. Because I'm gonna guess that you played a lot of shows in your other band.
I was always sitting though, so it's
okay.
It's, a lot different to like stand and play.
Cause like you didn't, when they're like, yeah, this is his second show, and I'm like, all right, and I was expecting I'm just gonna stand here, I'm just gonna play my bass lines. No, you're rocking out, you're moving up around, having fun. I'm like, dude is just locked in. It is flow state right now.
Yeah, so we just played last Friday at the Music Factory in Battle Creek.
How is it there? I have not had the chance to get down there. I really want to.
Oh, it's dope. Have you ever been to the Machine Shop?
Yes, I'm actually going there the end of this month.
Yeah, so kind of like almost like a similar like setup, almost kind of similar vibe, kind of similar size. Both like really cool places. The sound was awesome at the Music Factory. The stage was great too, and we had a good crowd. So
that's always sick. It's always nice, like even if you don't have like a big crowd, but you have a really high energy crowd, it's always fun.
Yeah.
So I know that you're like this is still a new project for you. So you obviously any answer from previous projects, even like your high school like garage bands. What was a what was a situation like an issue you had? It could be on stage, it could be just even when you were jamming with some friends and you're like, oh no, what's going on? And like, how did you resolve it? Like, did you have any crazy on stage issues with your last band, or so far have you had with this band?
So in my old folk band, we had a lot of people, so there was a lot of chances for dropouts, if you want to like take a quick break or like you missed a couple notes or something. Wasn't really a big deal. The show goes on. Same with Godstine too. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know all the songs yet. So honestly, I'm jamming through them as best I can. Just
You're sounding good. Like seriously. I need to catch you guys again. If you guys want to come back to Vex Venue, let me know.
Absolutely.
I could totally set that up with you guys. Like if you guys got some spare time next month, let me know. Well,
all right.
Set something up.
We'll talk about it.
Because I would love, maybe I can get a proper axe on this show. I would love to play with you guys. That'd be so sick.
That would be fun.
Hey, we got someone commenting here. The homie Cody, kudos.
Yeah. What's up, babe?
So, what is like a piece of gear that you want to like call it your guilty pleasure gear? Like a piece of gear that like you wouldn't really be, like you have your image in your band right now. But like this is something you really want, but it's not at all anything like it if someone's like, "Oh, this guy's in a, hard death band," you would not expect them to play this piece of gear.
I don't know. Probably I don't know if it counts, but my guitar picks.
Ooh, what we got here? I like the color pattern. Is it just like the kind of like the Fender like multi pick or?
So no, it's my cat.
Oh, I love that.
It's my
Oh, now I
kitty,
see. That's
and
really cool.
he's sniffing a little wild strawberry that we
That
picked out in the garden.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so like you said, I don't think you expect like a slam metal player to have a pick with his cat on it, but
No, but that's really dope. Like that's
yeah, I guess
really really dope.
my girlfriend picked those up for me. They're custom from D'Addario. You have to buy like 60 at a time, so I have a ton of them. I've just been like trying to hand them out at shows to people.
I need next time I'm grabbing one from you. I need
All
one
right, cool.
because that is dope as hell. And I need to custom. I have 9 cats, so
Okay,
I need to
nice.
custom order some cat guitar
Yeah.
picks because that's cool as hell.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. Yeah. Have you heard of? I mean, probably, but you've heard of the band Cannibal Corpse?
Oh yeah.
I love the fact the lead singer, he just goes to like malls when they're on tour and he'll play the claw games to get stuffed animals and he collects them and then just passes them out to kids.
That's fun. Monroe does we have a post show. We always go to Denny's for food after our shows, and he likes to play the claw game.
Nice.
So
I was
that-
gonna
that
ask
kind of
if you
reminds
guys had like a post show ritual.
Yep, Denny's. They're open late, and they so far have had pretty decent food. So
Denny's is like the McDonald's of the diner world, in my opinion. It's never gonna be amazing, and it's never gonna be god awful. It's always gonna be solid. It's always gonna be standard. You know what you're gonna get from Denny's.
exactly, yep, and that's all you need after a show. Sometimes is just some salad, breakfast,
Monroe hopping in and saying I do that at Denny's. Hell yeah. I'm the same way. We go to Coney Islands just because there's never a Denny's near us. But Coney Islands are usually also 24 hours. And also, our bass player, Luke, is always hankering for some Conies. No matter what time of year, he's like, just give me the Conies.
Right.
So I know I can always get breakfast at a Coney Island. So if you could pick, like, if you could design, like, this is the Cody Benjamin signature guitar, like bass guitar. What are you gonna put on it? What's your bass guitar gonna be that is gonna be a signature?
So it's honestly it's gonna be pretty simple. It's gonna be a 5-string. Well, there's gonna be 2 models, a 4 and a 5. It's gonna be neck through. And it's gonna have Bartolini pickups. Yeah, that's about it. It's nothing like crazy fancy or anything, but that's all stuff I've used in the past, and it's all been really solid. So,
I've not heard of that pickup brand. Bartolini, you said?
yep. Yeah, I got them on my Ibanez.
That's cool. I'll have to check that out. I'm always down to like try new pickups because you never know. There was I don't know if they exist anymore, but there was for a while this custom it was literally out of this dude's garage from Indiana, Ohio. It was called Bootstrap Pickups. And he had a P90 and he had a humbucker and then he had his bass pickups. And I had picked up his humbucker and it sounded better than any Seymour Duncan pickup I've ever had in my life.
Oh, nice.
Now, I will say my DiMarzio Super Distortions, I prefer them, but that bootstrap humbucker was so much better than any Seymour Duncan, and it was so sick. I hope they're still around because they were really sick. And if you want to look into, they weren't expensive either. Experimenting in pickups, I would highly recommend them because they're made in the U.S. They're not expensive. You'll just be a situation where you'll buy it tomorrow and it'll show up in like December because it's custom made.
Right. Yeah. What was the name of that again?
Bootstrap Pickups. I'm actually gonna check to see if he's still around.
Okay.
Oh hell yeah, they are.
Sweet.
Let's see. How much is this set for bass pickups? Pickups. Honestly, that's not terrible. $70. Now that's just for one. That's not a set. So a set's gonna run you like 120, but that's really not terrible. It's custom made. Yeah, check them out. Bootstrap Pickups. If you want to ever try anything different.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your Denny's order?
Ooh. So I got the mac and cheese pulled pork skillet. Just ridiculously good. And the last time I went, I got the bourbon chicken skillet, which was also fantastic. Yeah.
The mac and cheese skillet sounds fantastic, dude.
It was like a pretty big serving too. So
yeah, I would not expect that from a Denny's. I really wouldn't.
Yeah, you get a decent amount of food. So
would you ever do a what the hell is up Denny's kind of show?
Yeah, we've talked about that. We always joke about doing that.
I don't know what band it was, but just recently, a hardcore band did a show at the Bay City Mall. And I was like, because malls are kind of dying. I'm like, why is this not a thing? Why can't, we should totally do this more.
That would be a fun gig.
Yeah. But no, see you next Tuesday. I don't know what you mean. Chris, expound. I don't know what you mean, Chris. And yes, Kurt Cobain used the DiMarzio Super Distortion as modified 1965 Fender Jaguar. That's why I use Super Distortions, because I love Kurt Cobain and Nirvana. I mean, that's the whole reason I play guitar.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what's like your next purchase? I know we were talking a little bit about different pedals or anything. But what's the next thing? Like, this is what I'm set on. I'm getting this next. Everything else can wait a little bit, but like, I feel like this is what I need the most next.
So another 5-string just to have as a backup at a show, just in case like a string breaks or like the output jack like dies or something. Like something stupid's gonna happen one of these days, and I'm gonna be without a bass. So I need a backup, and I'm undecided. So I've been checking out some Jacksons. And the necks on those are phenomenal. Just like the shape and like the speed on those. I've also been looking at a Sterling 5-string.
Ooh, they're good.
Really, the one downside I would say is like they're a little bit heavier. And they don't quite have like a fun color.
Oh, I can trust me, dude. What color you want, I can find it for you, because Luke, a proper X bass player, he's looking for one right now, and he found like a paisley blue.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, like probably anything really, but
yeah.
I think the one they have is like just like brown and black, which is it looks fine, but I want a fun color.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Fun colors are great. You're in a metal band, so you have to have at least one black guitar. But there's nothing wrong with having something crazy, fun, and wild, dude.
Right, because I want to pull it out and play it for at least one song or something, you know. So
Exactly. Even if you don't like change the tuning, it's like, let's do this for a minute, have some fun, and then we can always switch back.
right, yeah. So yeah, I also I kind of want to go into like my holy grail finds with that. Like, so I have a Ibanez SR 500 T, which is the neck through version. They make a 5-string version of that, which I would love to find. It's just I don't see anybody having them for sale. And then I think you talked about this on a couple podcasts or a podcast a couple weeks ago is Laguna Ocean neck through bass.
Yes.
So they also make a 5-string of that too, which I would love to pick up.
I actually found it for my buddy and I sent it to him and I was like, "Hey, is this right?" And he's like, "Yeah, it is." He's like, "I'm gonna buy this like right now."
Yep. Yeah. So there's actually another one, 4-string for sale on Guitar Center right now.
That's sick. I love like that kind of thing where it's, you call it your holy grail. It like your holy grail, it could be a white whale. Like that wasn't an outrageously expensive bass, but they're really unique and cool.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's nothing like crazy outstanding about it. I mean, it's, at the end of the day, it's still, kind of like a lower end bass, but there's nothing wrong with just jamming on those. Doesn't have to be like a $2,000 backup instrument. You know what I mean?
Right. But like still sometimes those guitars or whatever, those weird quirky instruments, like they inspire you to do other things. Like I had this SG once, and it was a SG Junior single P90. I didn't realize how rare those were, and I really wish I had kept it better care of it. It got stolen from me.
Oh no.
Yeah, got stolen and sold for meth. That sucked.
Not cool.
Nope, not cool. But no, I started like learning like finger style because of that guitar because I really like the quacky tone. I was like, man, I'd love to I don't play country, but like to do that chicken picking kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just because I really enjoyed the tone. It's something completely different from what I still do, and I'd still love to work on that.
Yeah. So that's everybody's signed to pick up a banjo or some weird.
Everyone should learn an instrument completely different from your setup. If you're a guitar player, go learn banjo. If you're a flutist, go pick up a bassoon. I don't know. Pick up a tuba. So what is a band that you love that everyone else hates? Like, what's your guilty pleasure band?
Maybe Nickelback, honestly. Dude, their first couple records, like if you just listen to it like from a musical standpoint, like there's some solid guitars, there's some chunky sounds, there's good songs. Probably, yeah, Nickelback.
The Silver Side Up, which I think that's their first album, has some of the heaviest tones in it, dude. Like I will unapologetically pull up Never Again and blast that at full volume because it is it's a dark subject matter for Nickelback.
Oh, for sure.
And B, it has the most thick, like Metallica-esque style sound until you get to like their Metallica kind of album, which is Feed the Machine. But that song is so like catchy, but also like heavy. People hate on Nickelback because it's fun to hate on Nickelback. I think more people actually enjoy Nickelback that let on.
Probably, yeah. What's one of your guilty pleasure bands?
Five Finger Death Punch, and it's only because I work with my cousin, and that's her favorite band, and so I hear it 5 times a day.
Okay.
But they just released this song called Eye of the Storm, and I'll be damned if it wasn't a banger. I was like, you guys got my respect. This is a killer band. But also, like, I like Creed, which is like, people hate on Creed, and like, I get it. Scott Stapp used to be a horrible human being, and I don't know if he's gotten better. I don't know. But Mark Tremonti is a beast at guitar, and some
His
of
solo work
the
is amazing too.
yeah, I love Alter Bridge. I love Tremonti. Like, You Waste Your Time is one of my favorite songs of all time off his solo album.
Yep. His first solo album was incredible.
Yeah, I got to see, was it Alter Bridge? No, I got to see Slash with Miles Kennedy.
Mhm.
And Mark Tremonti had hopped on stage for that show, and I was like, "Oh, this is great! This
Wow.
is amazing!" Yeah, it was a sick show. And then like, they weren't even the headliner; they were just like the opener. I mean, there was a local opener, but then they came on, and then after that was Billy Idol,
Oh, wow.
which the dude looked like a skeleton. I think I was like 15, and I was like, someone get this man some cheeseburgers.
Bet that was a fun show.
It was cool. It was a lot of fun. It made me realize that Axl Rose needs to retire, and Miles Kennedy should just become the next lead singer of Guns N' Roses, because he sounds identical to Axl Rose, and he's a lot better. But yeah, no, I mean, that was a fun show. What is like your favorite show that you've been to?
Ooh. Probably back in like 2012, I got to see a rock band called 10 Years, and they played with a band called Fair to Midland. They're not around anymore, but that was probably the wildest show I've ever seen. It was at the Machine Shop, actually.
What was that band called?
Fair to Midland.
Fair to Midland. Were they from Midland, or were they? That's just the name.
They're from Texas, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've not heard of them. I'll have to look them up. 10 Years is actually a pretty sick band. I saw them live once, and I was very impressed with them.
Yeah, I've always liked all their music.
That's actually a band too that uses more affordable gear live. I mean, like, obviously they're, up there in terms of popularity, but like, they all use like affordable PRSs. They don't use like super expensive ones they always use inexpensive ones, and it always works out well for them.
That's cool to see.
Yeah. I don't know if you know who Fluff is on YouTube. Ryan Bruce. I recommend checking him out. He's actually really good if you want to pick up and learn some like recording stuff. He does a lot of cool just guitar stuff, but he does do some bass stuff. I found like a bass amp I want through him, which it's called the Orange Pedal Baby.
Okay.
And like, it's a relatively like straight, clean sounding amp, but it actually sounds really sick for bass, and I want to pick one up just to jam on. But no, his band Dragged Under toured with 10 Years, so that's how I had found that out. But no, I mean, if you do you follow any like content creators on like YouTube or anything?
Not really, not much, but I'm gonna start, I think.
Yeah, I recommend it. I mean, Fluff is really good. It's hard because I don't know a ton of bass player content creators. There's one I can't think of off the top of my head. If I remember it, I'll actually message it to you, because he's insanely talented. He's kind of like a jazz bass player, but he does a lot of metal stuff too.
Okay, cool.
But no, Fluff is really good. If you want to learn a lot about recording and like all the ins and outs, look up Spectrum Sound Studios. They're out of Windsor. The guy who runs it's named Glenn Fricker. I'm probably saying that wrong. I learned a lot of recording because of him, and he does not sugarcoat anything. I'll tell you that. You'll learn a lot.
All right. You'll have to check those guys out.
Yeah, Glenn is amazing. I think Glenn has actually done, like, I think Chris has actually talked to Glenn and has, like, had discussions with him about, like, recording and stuff like that. So that's firsthand experience right there from Chris saying Glenn is amazing.
Sick.
I have submitted many songs. So, no, yeah, I mean, there's so many talented YouTube creators, and if you just want like fun music stuff, go check out the Dickie Dine shows. Like,
Okay.
do you know who Jared Dines is?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay, so he runs kind of like this, or kind of like a weekly podcast, but it's all just like fun content with his best friend Austin Dickey, and sometimes they do music stuff, sometimes they just do random stuff, but their music content where they'll do just like fun Reddit show stories. It's a good way to relax, but still kind of like learn some music tips. So I definitely recommend checking them out. If I can think of some other creators too, I'll send them. I'll send you their way.
All right. Perfect.
So, what is some advice you would give out to someone who's looking to start playing bass?
Probably find a bass that when you play it, you don't feel like it's holding you back. I feel like that's one of the biggest things, like for a new musician, is like their instrument. You need a good instrument. I mean, it doesn't have to be the most expensive, but it needs to be set up well and set up right. So that way you're playing your notes and you're not fighting your instrument.
I think that's really important. You don't want to fight your instrument.
So yeah, it kind of goes hand in hand with like gear too, you know, like I don't know, if you save up for it, you know, get what you want and what you know is going to work for you, because even if you're not touring or whatever, it's still going to last you like your lifetime. So
yeah. Also, I like kind of add on to that, and in the form you were kind of talking about, like learning how to EQ everything. I think learning how to dial in like a sound is really important, and I think people don't take enough time to do it. Being able and you don't have to do it like for like, oh, every song's got to have a different sound, but to be able to like sit down, spend an hour out of your time, because it's worth it to like really dial in your sound with your pedals and everything. You know, I mean, that's the only way you're going to learn and get better and get a better tone.
Yep, exactly. You have to sit there and experiment. Nobody's going to come set it up for you. So yeah, just even if you have to go knob by knob, I mean, you can really only turn one at a time, I guess, but
right,
just go through them and just, you know, try to pick out, you know, what that knob is doing for you. And, you know, you might have to come back and adjust it a few times, but it's just part of what it is.
it is the nature of the beast. It's always worth like taking the time to learn things. I don't think as musicians, and just people in general, but musicians for sure, we never want to stop learning, because the moment we say like, oh, I'm done like learning, I don't want to learn anymore, that's the moment you stop with like, that's the moment when your intelligence just stops.
Yeah.
And that's not to say like people who do that are dumb. I'm just saying like, it's just how you get better. You're never going to get better if you're just like, I'm done, I've learned everything I want to learn.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's part of the reason why I want to pick up a 7-string. I've never played one, and I really want to learn on one. I want to experiment, write music that I would never normally write, but I feel like I would just grow as a musician if I did that.
Yep.
And I think I should also like where I have a really like old bass. I inherited a 1970s Electra bass from my great grandma. and it just kind of sits over, and I need to clean it and restring it. But no, I think every guitar player should like spend time learning the basics of bass, because even if like for like just a fun side project or just a jam, it's a same kind of thing with like learning a banjo. That different like refresher to kind of learn and like get your mind in a different position.
Yeah, like one time at practice, we switched instruments. Nate grabbed my bass, and I tried to play guitar, and it was fun. Yeah, it's cool to experiment.
Did Monroe hop on the drums?
No.
I can see Monroe hop on the drums. But no, I mean that's cool. You know, it's how we learn. It's how we get better at stuff. What is something that you would wish that you had told yourself? I mean, like it's similar to like the piece of advice, but kind of a different thing. What is something you would have told yourself to avoid when you were first learning?
Ooh. I don't know. Maybe like don't get stuck on one style of music.
Okay.
I think there's techniques in different styles of music that even if you don't use them, I feel like they're still applicable. Even if it's just like a warm up or something, you can always pick up something from like a different style.
Heck yeah. Do you know who John 5 is?
Yes.
Okay. So my warm up, it actually turned into a song for us that we haven't played in a while. But my warm up is something I picked up from John 5. It's one of his like chicken picking like country riffs, but I do it distorted and make it into a metal sounding riff. And it's a lot fun. It's very hard, and it does a good job of like stretching out your fingers. And the first time I watched the video, the top comment was, "Is it sad that his warm up makes me want to just give up guitar? Not even like his playing, just his warm up playing." If you could pick any band that Godstine has been given this opportunity to open for any band you would want, who would you pick? And what venue? Next venue.
Man, I don't know. Everybody in the band, like, we all kind of. I'm not gonna speak for everybody. I would say like maybe Lamb of God.
That'd be sick. No, just like for you, like you know, for you personally, who would you want to, you know?
Probably the same answer. It's just that we grew up listening to those guys, and they still continue to put out bangers. That would just be a solid ass show. Probably Machine Shop too.
Yeah.
Just I've always wanted to play there. I've been to so many concerts and stuff, and I've always said like, oh, it'd be so cool to get up on that stage, and now I'm doing it, which is wild.
Trust me, dude. Every time they have an opening, I'm always submitting because I want to play there too. So if you get in there, congrats, dude, because it is a trip.
Yeah.
Have you guys played at Mulligan's?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Okay. Like talk to the rest of the band, obviously. I recommend checking into that place because if you guys you guys sound pretty solid. They'll actually record for you and you like your session and you can turn it into a live album. That's what we did.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It helped because like we took forever to get our EP done. So it's a good way to kind of get a little album out and be like, hey, like it's our live album.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah. Oh, Monroe hopping in saying, "Hell yeah, Lamb of God is my all-time favorite." I I'm gonna. We will
Oh,
on the 5th of
perfect.
September.
Mulligans, I think.
Oh, cool. Yeah. No, seriously. All you have to do is talk to the sound guy. I think it's $20 unless the price is increased. Double check with them. But you just pay the sound guy at the beginning of your set saying, "Hey, please record this," and then just have someone mix it for you, and then you can release it as an album.
That's gonna be sick.
It's fun.
I'm
The
looking
stage is
forward to
pretty
that.
cool. I am partial to Vexed for multiple reasons. Vexed is my favorite venue, but Mulligan's is definitely a sick place to play. I highly recommend it. I mean, it's a Grand Rapids staple.
All right. Yeah. So I wrote a little thing about the Vex venue. I love that. I love the venue. It was a fun, like, spooky vibe. I feel like it fit our music well. The stage is well constructed. It's solid. Felt like there's a good amount of room.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed, like, the interview aspect at the end. We all thought that was a really neat thing, and just like I said, the vibes and decoration. It sounded good. So I learned something about my amp and my direct out. So the sound guy, he plugged in with the XLR out on my amp, and there's a switch for pre and post EQ, and I was in the pre EQ. So
none of your EQ mattered into the house sound.
yeah, just send him this
dude.
dry signal. Just yeah.
That's kind of unique, though.
I learned my lesson on that, and also, yeah, like, just kind of learning. It was a good learning experience,
Yeah.
and I'd love to come back and, like, hit it even harder when
That would be sick.
I'm better and I know more.
Well, and since Monroe's in the chat, I don't know who does the booking for you guys, but Monroe, if you're in the chat, are you guys available August 15th? Or do you have a show booked that day? Because I know we are looking for someone August 15th. Monroe, what say you? Do you want to come back August 15th? I'm also trying to see if we could play that show too, and I would love to play a show with you guys.
That'd be fun. We'll definitely have to talk about it.
Yeah. No, in terms of just the venue, what ooh, Monroe says, oh, he'll be at Michigan Metal Fest. I forgot that was the same time, man. I forgot about that. Because I'm not gonna be able to go to that. Well, hey, no problem, man. I hope you have a good time at that festival. Please let me know how it goes.
That's gonna be wild.
Yeah, but no, for Vexed, I mean, like, as a venue, we care so much about the community, and that's what we want to do, is build up the community and have a safe, like, environment for people to come perform and stuff, but still rock out. Like, you guys had a crazy crowd, dude. Like, I personally, it takes me a lot to get into a moshing mood. I'm not usually that type of guy, so I like to stand up to the side. So I'm like, I was actually, like, on the corner of the stage trying to record you guys, and there's just a giant mosh pit. I'm like, damn, guys. I was very impressed.
So much fun making people move to your music. You're just like, those guys are out there dancing to our stuff. Like,
right. Cool. Isn't it a crazy feeling?
Very.
But no, like, I'm glad you guys liked the interview aspect. That was my first time ever doing interview like that. And it was the first time doing it for Vexed. I'm going to try to do it every single show that I can. I can't always be there. Unfortunately, like, August 8th, I'm performing in Flint. So I won't be able to be to that show. It sucks because that's a really banger show. But yeah, no, it's just something cool that we've started doing. The sound, we just redid the entire sound system. We had help by John, you're watching this, and I'm going to totally butcher your last name. It's like Woodlaw, or I'm sorry, John. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. But he basically helped us redo the entire sound system, and it's so much. It like our sound wasn't bad beforehand, but like it's on a whole other level now. It's so sick. Like when you guys pointed out, your guitar player Nate had pointed out like when we had like he had asked like, hey, can I get more of this like in his monitor? And most venues like it'll be very little or nothing, and it was like night and day difference. He's like, oh, it's amazing. Like I love that.
Yep, I could hear him clear as day over there, like on my side. It was great.
I mean, that's like that's important. We want you guys to be able to hear things so you guys can play a better show.
Exactly. Yep. It's a very good setup.
Plus, I agree with you. I had actually noticed Nate, like, because I think Monroe had got onto the catwalk and did like a little hop beforehand to like test that out. And I overheard Nate say like, "Yeah, this isn't like Hamilton." Oh, that place. I don't know if they do shows anymore, but that stage scared me when I was younger. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I like solid stages.
Yeah, I like to not be scared if I'm gonna die on a stage. So and I like Vex has a decent amount of room on the stage too. Like it's not like crazy like you'll see it when you go to Mulligan's. Mulligan's is a lot longer, but it's a little bit thinner. I kind of like, in my opinion, Vex is actually about the perfect ratio. You've got the nice length, you've got the front catwalk, and you've got the two sides. So like if you end up getting a wireless, which I recommend doing at some point, you could actually like hop off on the stage and then go play in the crowd. That's always fun.
That would be very fun. We've been Monroe just got wireless for his mic. And we've been talking about picking them up for the guitars too. It's just a little bit more pricey.
I want to see Monroe. I'm sorry. I feel bad. I keep.
That's all right.
I want to see Monroe jump into the pit and just start moshing with his wireless mic. That will be so sick.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah. But no, I mean, you can pick up. Here, hold on. I don't know if it'll show on camera. Yeah, no, it's not going to.
Kind of.
I'll send you a picture. It's just a Joyo wireless system, and they're like $40.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, they're really good quality. The charging, like I charge it before every show, and I've never ran out of battery during a show as long as I charge it. Usually, I can go about 2 weeks without a charge, so like for practice and stuff.
Okay.
But they work really well. For the money, you know, I mean, like I said, $40.
All right, we'll have to check those out.
Yeah. Now, I think if I just remember correctly, let me check something real fast. Oh, hold on. Roger hopping in with a bunch of different tunings. Why are we listing tunings? Because, Roger, we want to know what the people tune to, Roger. That's why we're listing tunings. I love that you went with Dadgad. Because it was for Steven. It's because those were the tunings he was telling me that they play in the band in. So what tuning do you guys play in?
We're in drop G sharp.
Jesus. It's so low. I mean, it makes sense, you know, for your guys' style of music, but like it's just like every time I'm like, yeah, we play like I hear, yeah, we play in drop F. What?
Yeah, definitely. Nate's playing 7-string, and then I obviously have the 5-string. But yeah, you kind of need the right gear for going low.
No, I agree. Like I'll throw my 6-string into drop B every once in a while just to mess around with it, and it's always like I have pretty thick gauge strings, and they're so like still pretty loose, and like, this is weird.
Yeah.
All right, you're a bass player. I gotta ask you this question for a consensus. How often do you change your strings?
Ooh. Well, being that they're like $51 a pack,
Yeah, they're expensive. It's outrageous.
I'm pretty much like riding them into the dust.
Yeah.
When I notice, like, when I feel like they're dead, they're gonna get changed, just because is kind of what I talked about earlier. Like, when you pick up your instrument, you should be inspired to play. You shouldn't be fighting it. You shouldn't be. It should be like creating music for you as a tool. So, I think string changes regularly are pretty important.
Yeah. I mean, I'm right there with you. Guitar strings aren't even that expensive, and I still same like I noticed the strings that I normally get hopped up to I think $15 or $17 a pack. I remember when I could get 3 of them for that same price.
Mm.
And I always feel so bad for bass players because it's like, why the hell are your strings so expensive? Like, I thought $20 a pack back in the day was expensive. Now they're $50, and it's like, why?
Right. Yeah.
It is almost worth buying another bass just so you have a spare set of strings.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Give me a minute here. We are gonna actually have in a sec, in a little bit. Chris is gonna actually hop on. He has a couple things he wants to talk to you about with pedals.
Ooh,
and he knows a lot more about pedals than I do. I don't know that much about pedals. I like to make weird noises, so I buy pedals that make weird noises and put them together in weird spots. When you get in like further into your pedal journey too, dude, you can arrange, like, obviously your tuner is always going to be in the same spot because it's your tuner, but you can arrange your pedals in different ways to get different sounds. Like, if you were to say buy a fuzz, a compressor, a chorus, and a delay pedal, or we'll take the delay pedal out, just those 3, and you were to put your chorus before your overdrive in your chain, you will get a completely different sound than if you were to do that versus putting it after your overdrive. Same with the fuzz. It's fun to mess around with. That's another cool way to get like different tones.
Yeah, that does sound like a lot of fun.
And it can be a little bit time consuming because like there's not a right or wrong way to how you set up your pedal board. People get so hung up on that. Just experiment till you get to what you like.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting to hear back from Chris here because I think he's just double checking on something. Oh, there he is. He disappeared. He ran away. We scared him.
Cool.
Chris, are you there? Are you alive? It's last Thursday all over again. He fell asleep. He didn't really fall asleep last Thursday, but it was it was funny. He disappeared for a little bit, and we're like, "Did Chris die?" You there, Chris? Hello? He keeps disappearing and reappearing. I was going to ask if we needed to do a welfare check last Thursday. Someone help. Is Chris okay? We need to do a welfare check on Chris. Do you have a amp peg model in mind that you would like to get someday? I know you were saying, besides like the 8x10 cab, but like a certain head that you were looking at?
I haven't really researched them, to be honest. I kind of like know what like the classic look looks like. And the show we played last Friday, I think both their bass players had the 8x10 cabs.
Yeah.
So I was kind of inspired there.
Some technical difficulties, just a little bit. The bass player for a band that I really like called Amplify, I literally was just talking to him. He runs an 8x10. He doesn't need to. He chooses to run the 8x10 because he likes the low end response. And I'm like, dude, that thing is so heavy. Like, why don't you pick up something? He's like, I have something smaller, but it's just the sound. I love the low end. I'm like, yeah, but like, do you really want to carry that upstairs? He's like, no. And I literally have dropped it on my foot before. It's not worth it, but I want the sound.
Right. No, I feel that because the last show we played, I had it cranked up pretty good behind me, and it's so nice to hear your sound.
Yeah.
And also like that deep sound, and then the crowd gets it from the front of house too.
Yeah. I can hear you, Chris.
Awesome. I had to leave and come back in.
Hey, Chris.
Hi, Cody. So I wanted to give you guys a couple pieces of gear that I own, and maybe you guys can pick which piece of gear we should have a segment on next week, along with the next week's gear review.
I would love that.
Okay. I have some weird stuff. So some is weird, some is not. So I'm going to start with the most easiest one I have. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. This is called the Digitech XP100.
I've never seen that before. That's interesting.
The whammy wah. I use it, and actually Korn uses it also when they have the kind of XP, the whammy wah. So this is what they use back in the day. Now, they may have different gear now, but this is the original XP100.
Okay.
So there's a lot of cool features on this one. So the second piece of gear is a little bit more strange. You ready?
Yes.
It's in the Digitech XP series. It's called the XP300 Space Station.
Ooh.
This gives me really badass sounds. So all the cool tones and sounds you can get from a keyboard that sounds space agey is on the pedal with the expression on there. So this is one of my, well, all four of these pieces are in my gear list. So that's kind of the second weirdest one I have.
Okay.
The third one I have isn't really weird. It's just, it gives me more of a preamp sound, and I just got it fixed and redone with new tubes and rewiring. And it is the Mesa V-Twin floor pedal, which if you have power, this is your Mesa rig. This is your Mesa head.
Whoa.
It's a floor model. So I use it as a second distortion head when I split my gear up. So
I've been looking at one of those because I wanted to look into something that's more like an American sound. And I've kind of thought of like, what if I just picked up like a pedal and just ran like a powered pedal like that?
dude, if you have a head, like I used to run this with a Mesa 5050 stereo core or stereo amp, and that was my rig. And then I got the Mesa rectifier preamp, and I discontinued using this in my rig. But what I didn't know was this is fully capable of being one channel in a triple and double rectifier head.
That's
so
crazy.
This actually gives you another tone. So if you have a dual or a triple and you put them both to clean, this gives you a third or fourth preamp sound. Now, whether you want all those sounds or not, cool. Metal bands are consistent with one tone, cool, but this gives you options. So this is my other weird piece of gear. It's not weird, it's just something untraditional that a metal guy would use.
That is actually really cool.
That one's neat.
And it gives you two channels. It gives you a clean and a blues and a dirty and a bypass. So it's really it's a two-channel pedal, but in a pedal form, but for a rectifier head.
What's it called again?
It's called the Mesa Boogie V Twin pedal. It's the guts of the Mesa Boogie rectifier preamp, but in a pedal form. So if you just plug this into standard power, like a front of house with great monitors, that's all you'll need. But I use it in my rig because I have a Mesa Roadster combo, and I have a Marshall amp half stack. I use it as kind of an in between to give me an extra 2 channels.
Holy shit, these are expensive.
Yeah. No, they're not. I got it back in early 2000s when it wasn't expensive, but they go. I've heard they've gone up in value, I think.
Yeah, they're about $800.
Yeah, and I mean, if you really wanted a triple rectifier, just spend $400 more and get one. But this is just the rectifier preamp version of the head. So if you isolate the head from the preamp, then you can dial in whatever you want. My last piece of gear that is kind of like odd. It's not even a guitar gear. It's for DJs, but I use it in my rig because I love what people know as a theremin.
Oh, I love theremins.
Is this? See that it's got an air effects. On the bottom left is a knob that cycles through the effects. And then the black circle on top gives you an X, Y with your hand effects channel to where you can play your guitar with one hand and then use your other hand to kind of control the chorus and the effects and whatever it's on.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. So that was my setup back early in the 2000s. So that is my oddest piece of gear I have for my rig.
I like all of those. I'm very interested in this last one because that's cool. By the way, I did just find a V Twin for $379, so I'm saving that.
Get it. I mean, if you can get it and resell it, you'll make a couple of $100 off it. As long as it hasn't been modified or modded from the original tone, they keep their value.
Yeah. No, I mean,
they used to make this in a rack mount version, but they also made it as a pedal for a very brief time.
No, I've got that saved because I want to pick that up, and that's compared to the other ones I'm seeing between a minimum of $500 to $800. That's cheap.
Do you want to see my pedal board? I didn't do a screenshot of my pedal board, but I did a screenshot of what my pedal board was empty. Ready for this?
Yes. Oh, is that for like the rack mount? Like that's interesting.
I put my tuner and my compressors and my delays in the rack mount, and I put all my pedals, which have little dots in the crook. You can actually power all of your pedals on the board there. Now I'll say this is not my pedal board, but that's what it would look like if everything is mounted. Mine's upstairs on the 3rd floor. I didn't have time to get it out, but this is what it looks like empty, and it's badass.
That is sick.
Yeah,
like that's really sick.
It's very handy because, I like tuners in front of me as a pedal, but as a rack mount tuner, it's really cool. You can get so many different types of rack mount tuners. You can get to the regular ones or whatever. But I had those in there so I can kind of have a bird's eye view of my system. You don't need this. This is just what I like.
Right. That's cool though. I mean, that's different. I've not seen anything like that before, but I like the concept of that.
And this version doesn't have any tuners in it. They might have a tuner pedal, over the left side. So you can put a lot of pedals in here, but my pedal space, the racks I used to use when I first started, I got a 2 foot by 3 foot pedal board I'd make and put Velcro on it. and put on my pedals, but I had 2 of them, and I'd make them side by side, but as an arc. Because I had so many pedals at the time. I'm like, I don't need all these pedals, but it looks.
I
cool
don't need all these pedals.
Yeah, but it looks cool on stage, and people would say, "Dude, I love your pedal board." And I'm like, "Yeah, awesome, thank you." But I wouldn't use half of the shit. And then obviously over time, you refine what you need, and you get rid of what you don't, and you add what you absolutely have to have. And I came across this board here, and this is really, it gives me everything I need. That's not a digitally patched, where everything is in your behind the scenes rig with, I don't know, is it a Helix or whatever that new technology is that brings everything to the forefront. This is a poor man's pedal board compared to now, today's modern standards.
Right, but I love the concept of that because it brings back the idea of like, oh, this is pseudo retro technology, even though it's not actually retro.
Yeah.
But it's got like that weird like vibe, kind of like when Jack White, like with his guitars, where he plays essentially guitars made out of plastic.
Yeah.
So
that's
cool.
Yeah, like I mean, I've always wanted a guitar. You know, Muse.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name. I'll hear it when I hear it. But he's got one of those chaos pads kind of built into the body of the guitar. It seems like for when he plays effects.
Ibanez make a model like that.
Yeah. So
and
I'm all about.
It's fun.
I've always considered myself a noise maker before a song creator. So noise is amazing.
I like that because like noise can develop into songs and it can develop into a cool like aspect, and having gear that just makes random noises like a gonculator or something like that, that's cool.
I'd love to have a theremin on stage one day if I ever play it again. That'd be badass.
Cody, have you ever checked out a theremin? Do you know what that is?
No.
So it is like one of the world's oldest electrical instruments. It is essentially a box with a wire running up and over, and it uses the magnetic force around it to create noise. Like, I highly recommend you go watch some theremin videos because they are so cool. Oh, we lost Cody. Oh, there he is. I was like, whoa, Cody's gone. I think Chris is getting us a theremin. I could be wrong. No, I highly recommend you check them out. Yeah, check this out.
Perfect.
I don't know if the audio will play. We'll see. But yeah, it is literally like, it is a box with wires. Yeah, we're not getting audio. But you control it by moving your hand like this. The hand on the left controls the pitch, while the hand on the right controls like the sustain.
Okay.
And they make some weird, wild noises. Like, yeah, they're so cool though. Chris is trying to get the audio. Hold on. I think they're really, really expensive though. That's the sad thing.
Yeah, it doesn't look like I can get the audio, but you get the point. Is anything that when you listen to a spooky soundtrack or a spooky movie or whatever, this is what they use to replicate that spooky sound.
Okay, I know exactly. I can hear it in my head.
Yeah, like that. Like, yeah, dude, check out a theremin. Like, if you want a good musician that uses one on stage, Joe Bomanassa, who is a fantastic blues guitar player, he gets into like some heavy rock stuff too. He uses one on stage while playing guitar at the same time. It is a sight to see. It is so cool, dude.
Now, one thing you can do as a poor man's theremin is you could do your guitar, and then you could have an ebow,
a
delay pedal, and a whammy wah. You could probably mimic that pretty close, but you don't get the feeling of the ebow where you have your left hand doing one percussion-ish area. Now, I don't say percussion, but like whatever. And then you have your other hand doing pitch and shifting, and you can actually use your artfulness of your expression to make this happen. But you can actually replicate it with a ebow, whammy, and a delay.
I didn't even think about that. That totally could do that.
Yeah. I don't have an ebow. That's something I've never owned. I'm like,
Me
why
either.
don't I have an ebow?
They're not expensive either. Like you can pick them up pretty cheap.
$100, you know?
Yeah.
Ish.
So.
You can actually too. Also, you can use a violin bow on your guitar.
Yeah. Well, apparently you can only use it with guitars that have arch bridges because I hear they don't work on like flat top bridges.
Yeah, you're not gonna get all the strings, but if you know what strings you have to hit, you could technically raise the bridge and intonation on one end to make that string higher than the rest, like a violin does.
Okay.
You could technically have a guitar dedicated to that format. You totally could, but is it practical? No.
But it's cool.
Yeah, yeah. It's like having or the slide guitars that are like the country ones. Yeah. All their strings are arched because you have to use a slide or whatever the hell it is, and you could replicate that stuff. It just depends on the guitar. Do you have backups? Do you have many guitars? Can you sacrifice one for this and have a backup in case it breaks? You can do it, but for the simple person, the simple guitar player like me, yeah, I want one or two guitars. Yeah, I gotta rely on pedals.
Right.
But if you have all the guitars in the world, you can rely on everything you want. It doesn't matter.
I would totally if I would pick up like a cheap, like inexpensive, like maybe like a Epiphone Les Paul 2 or something like that, just to be like, this is going to be my violin guitar.
Yeah. No, honestly, we were so about making noise, not in songs, but between songs or interludes or part of an intro and outro, that we would get any kind of noise maker we can get. And I'm about to say something that's probably not like PC, but we would get vibrators for the bass player, and they would use those devices on their pickups or on or above or below their strings, and that would create some really dynamic range of like vibration, which is really cool. In a studio, it doesn't really replicate live as much as the studio performance, but it's still cool nonetheless. Our old bass player used to have this little it was a handheld dinosaur that when you press the button, it would go roar. And in whatever reason, it would go into the pickup and it would reproduce some form of that noise, and that was part of our song that we would play.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So
That's
take
really cool.
Yeah, and then you take a step further and go back in time. I mean, you get the Van Halen when he used the damn drill.
Mm-hmm.
All those things are cool elements that make tone, and then make songs, and make really cool elements for tone and for songs. So just don't. If it sounds stupid, just give it a try.
100%. I mean, like that's how that's how you experiment. That's how you learn, come up with cool stuff. I mean, that's why those devices exist, because we want to come up with weird, random stuff.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Tom Morello, but I'm a huge fan of how he makes noise with just his guitar.
Yeah. I love what he does. I think it's so unique, and every time, I'm a big Audio Slave and Rage Against the Machine fan, so
yeah,
I love just like the crazy wildness. Like that was the first guitar player that really showed me you can do some weird stuff with guitar.
The first song I ever heard that inspired me to make noise was Bulls on Parade, when he did the hand over hand, and he did the stuff, and he used his on-off switch to actually make it sound like it was a scratching of a record.
Yeah.
That was the first time I'm like, wow, I can do that on an instrument. I don't have to have any other crap. So that was what inspired me to like want to find weird pedals and like awkward pedals and like things that like, wow, this could make some cool noise.
Right. Well, it is 10:06 and yeah, I know, right? We got talking about gear. We got lost in the sauce. But Cody, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you coming on. Yeah, man. I will get with you. We got to get with you to get you back out to Vex. Like we got to get Godstine back out. I want to get on a show with you guys. So we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you a couple like creators that once I can think of their names and stuff over the next couple days. But
Okay.
yeah. Thanks for being on. And then you got any last things you want to say to the people?
I don't know. Just keep watching the Facebook page and come out to a show. We're working on recording some new music, so keep watch for that. And yeah, check out a show at Vex.
Yeah. Everyone go follow Godstine on all their platforms. Go listen to their music. I know you guys, I think you have 2 singles out right now.
Yep, just 2 right now.
Yep. Go listen to the 2 singles. Spam them as much as possible because trust me, they're great tunes and it's worth it. Go support the community because when you support the community, it will support you back. Thank you so much, Cody, for joining us. And remember, everyone to tune in Thursday for our live music podcast where we'll be playing several different bands. And if you want to be on this podcast, if you want to have your gear, go ahead and do what Cody did. Submit your gear. I would love to check it out. Love to interview you on the podcast. If you've got a little ad or something that you want to talk about with your band, like their band, they've got new music coming out. So when you guys have that ready, please just send me a quick little video. We'll play it before the podcast to be like, hey, Godstine's got new music coming out. You should get ready, kind of a thing. Sure. Yeah, and submit tunes, submit gear. I want to see everything. I want to hear everything.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. You have a great night.
Thanks. You too.